are making some steamed jerk lobster tail and sauteed shrimp my way. All right. So on the stove, I have some hot boiling water. I am going to go ahead and season the water with my seasonings for my lobster tail. I am adding some red peppers, hot red pepper. And I am going to go ahead and add in some Larry's seasoned salt. Probably a little bit over a teaspoon. Sorry, y'all, I'm not too precise with measuring. So I'm just eyeballing my seasoning. Now I am going to go ahead and put a generous amount of Obey seasoning, probably about a tablespoon. All right, so next I am going to go ahead and add my Jamaican seasoning or Jamaican jerk seasoning. And I am going to add about a teaspoon. Dumping all the lobster tail in. And guys, my husband, he's the one who's doing the videoing. So if it messes up, it's not my fault, it's his fault. Alright, so let it boil on medium heat for maybe about 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, so in this next clip, I am doing a voiceover just because in the original clip, there was just a lot of background noise. So in front of me, I have my shrimp. They are already deveined and cleaned with white vinegar and water. I do have that pot on the stove on medium heat. I am going to saute my shrimp in it with butter and garlic. So I am now adding my seasoned salt, Larry's seasoned salt. Now you can use any seasoned salt of your choice, but I'm using Larry's today. And I'm using about 1 teaspoon of that. I am adding in some red peppers. I am also adding in some black pepper and just a little bit of that. I am adding in some Old Bay seasoning. And you do want to put a generous amount of this Old Bay seasoning just because it's seafood, so you want to put enough of that. Looks good. All right, so I am just folding in my seasonings with my shrimps. All right, so I am just adding in a little bit more of the Old Bay seasoning. Stir that in. Now I am going to go ahead and put in half of a teaspoon of the jerk seasoning. And I'm using the Walker's Wood jerk seasoning. It is pretty good. I like the taste of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my shrimps. And I am going to go ahead and stir that in. Now I am about to dice up some garlic, some fresh garlic. It's about 4 pegs or cloves, whatever you call it. I'm going to do that and add it to my butter on the stove once the pot is completely hot. You know what? Let me check on the lobster scale. It should be finished. Yep, sure is. So you see when it changes? Look at the color, you guys. That means they are completely done. You see how it's like a, is it like a reddish pinkish? Yeah, reddish light color. That means it's done. All right, so I'm going to turn the stove off for the lobster, so that's done. All right, so the pot is hot. I am going to add my butter next to my pan. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter to be exact. I'm just trying to get it all melted. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. All right, try to either gauge the stove, turn it down a little bit. Smells so good. So good. Look at that, y'all. Already. Yes. All right, and I'm going to be making my sauce, y'all, for my shrimp and my lobster. Guys, so this is the finished look of the shrimp. This is what it should look like when the shrimp is fully cooked. All right, so at this point, the lobster tails are cooked. The shrimps are done. I have on the stove right now melted butter, about 1.5 stick of melted butter, unsalted. I am going to add some seasonings in. That is cayenne pepper. Put a little bit of that. Also, I am going to add some lemon pepper. A little bit of that too. And this sauce is inspired by B Loves Life. She's a great cook and she made up that sauce. So I decided that I'm going to try it my way. I am going to add a little bit of black pepper to my melted butter. And the stove is on low heat at this point. I am going to add oregano. And please eyeball your seasonings, all right? And how much you add into it. And of course, I'm going to add some more Old Bay seasonings, a generous amount. And I am now going to stir in all the seasonings along with the melted butter. Now I do have a um, 2 cups of chicken broth that I am going to add to the pot with butter and seasoning. And I just use those little Maggie cubes. I just put it in the water, 2 cups of water. Once it's completely dissolved, then I add it to my melted butter and seasoning. All right, so I did forget to mention that I added some parsley to my mixture, and I also added some paprika just for extra coloring. Probably about a teaspoon of the paprika. I am adding in some lemon juice. And I am also going to add the lemon peel, a little bit of the back of it, just to give it a little zest, a little kick to it. All right, so now I am going to add in my garlic and my onion. Yes, so the onion, it's about half of a large onion. That should be enough. Just want to make sure that everything is mixed in well. So I am stirring away, stirring away. All right, so now I am going to add in some brown sugar. And the brown sugar that I am using, it's pretty light. It's not the real dark brown sugar. And that is about half of a cup of brown sugar. I am going to add that in the mixture. Look at me just talking away. Girl, if you don't add that sugar in that mixture, in that sauce, that good sauce, girl, go ahead and add that sugar in. Girl, girl. I'm silly. So I'm just gonna mix that in. And the brown sugar, it's gonna help with the coloring too. And also it's gonna help to, thickens up the sauce a little bit. You don't want the sauce too thick because, you are going to pour it over the, seafood. Seafood, oh my goodness, I can't talk today. Yeah, so you don't want it to be too thick. All right, and in my mortar, I am going to add, I'm going to crush up some freshly washed ginger. I did wash that off camera. I am going to put that into my sauce as well. Then turn the stove up and we should be good. All right, so I am about to turn the stove off. See you guys, it thickens up just a little bit. And if you notice the color, nice and pretty. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in my bowl and plate it up so you guys can see it. Looks so good. Look at that.